Crypto media friends, welcome to another Overtime show here in Los Angeles. Oh boy, we are getting rugged massively by our friends at Black Magic Design. I'm a fan of Black Magic Design. I really am. I think the people there are really fantastic, but our ATM Mini Pro has died, and you guys saw it here on the channel, which was hilarious as the progression of its death occurred. But I'm here to talk today about Gossamer, NFT that has airdropped and is a very interesting airdrop. It's very different than anything that I've seen in quite a while, because it all starts with Timbaland. So Timbaland is doing his really fantastic work in this space, and Timbaland's grown to be kind of one of those Snoop influenced OGs in the space. Now he's doing this thing with Congo, and it's still minting out, and it's a fun track, but he's experimenting in the space. I'm a fan. I bought it. I'm in. It's all my ETH. I don't have enough to get into Gossamer, which I'm talking about today, because it's gonna be an interesting play, because Gossamer is not just a purchase that you might have to get if you don't already have an airdrop. It's also a mint pass. And so let me take you through this Timbaland world. So Timbaland was just like, I'm doing this thing, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then he starts retweeting Gossamer. I'm like, okay, it's fantasy thing. It's very hard to do fantasy if you come from an independent world. It's like, holy crap, how are you going to build that out? This is why, not just the visuals for it, but also we're talking about the world and the lore. It's very difficult to do something within fantasy and do it right and do it proper. This is why studios and pay gajillions of dollars for existing novels like Lord of the Rings, like Game of Thrones, because they're already built out story wise, and then it's just about executing that. And so here, Gossamer, as I'm digging, they've got a lot of things set up for them that I don't think any project currently on the market has. And when I say on the market, this is not financial advice. This is just talking about how to potentially get involved with a project that might have a unique take on how to world build. And so Holders Mint, which is tomorrow, subscribe, hit the bell notification, because I do this live, because this stuff changes and evolves on a constant basis. So tomorrow it's going to mint 8 p.m. Eastern time for holders of the Moth, the original Moth. Now the Moth was airdropped during NFT NYC. Nobody was like, everything going on in never drop anything at NFT NYC. Anything going on at NFT NYC is just going to get just blurred by the amount of stuff that's going on there. But they dropped, got a lot of attention for it. I think price-wise, action. We'll take a look at why. But it started to cool off. But then at that point, I'm just like, well, interesting, because then that gives you access to mint one of these warriors, and then they started releasing what these potentially could mean and do. And so I think there's no thing on there. Let's check out this video. So what we're looking at here is, obviously some polished animation. Now, look, Hate Beast back in the day had polished animation, but I think what we're also looking at here is a proof of concept based upon things that have already been built. So they've been working on this, as they say, for 2 years development and show and post-production. That means this is the built stuff. This is what we're looking at, is the built-out world, and it's getting a sneak peek at that built-out world, which is impressive because it's built on Unreal Engine 5. Clearly, it looks beautiful, and it's very any sort of AAA game, all the games on PlayStation, even Hollywood studios are leveraging Unreal Engine 5 in their environments because of just the quasi photorealistic and the high quality that you get when using these. And so they have these assets, and and they're just, well, I'm sure just sitting around last year, they're just like, hey, we're building this really great world out, and oh hey, yeah, there's the metaverse. Maybe those assets transfer, and they do, and all that does is just put a strain on AWS and sort of centralized compute, which we talk about a lot on the show here, and which I think could be a really changing narrative as these worlds are built out, and as Otherside is about to launch their beta this coming week. It's going to be a very interesting time for the idea of what happens with centralized servers, because AWS is going to crash. AWS has been crashing, and it's the decentralized methodology of not just much more inexpensive, but also like Akash, but much more effective and localized is going to be revolutionary, I think, to decentralization and Web3, as we hope it to be. Now, holders will have 24 hours to mint, accommodate all time zones. Fantastic, giving us some time to mint these warriors. And so if you own one of the airdropped moths, you get to mint one of these warriors. Now, those airdrop moths, of course, are available on OpenSea and have been having some significant price action and sales in the past week or so. Now, 0.15, it rose very quickly from free to 0.15, but it's done quadruple that at this point. So they're working with XYZZY, Dubai-based and deep pockets, along with Hollywood BRON. Digital BRON, I noticed, was the producer of Ghostbusters, the one with the kids. Really well done with Jason Reitman, really fantastic, and obviously just a sign that they're sophisticated media and they can bring some assets and leverage to bear in terms of name recognition. And so here's where it gets really interesting for me. It's based on a young adult novel already written by Lois Lowry, who did The Giver and The Willoughbys. That says a lot about sort of the property already. Voice cast is led by Academy Award winning Forrest Whitaker and includes Thomas and Mackenzie, I don't know who that is, Vera Farmiga, Richard E. Grant, Wilder Valderrama, say that 5 times fast, from that 70s show, great voice actor, Alana Masterson, and Courtney Rosemont, who makes her debut. And then they talk about the incorporation of Timbaland. Okay, so Timbaland he's I don't know if he's an executive producer or executive music producer, supervisor, weird title there, never quite heard of that, but obviously he's going to be leading a lot of music into that world, and knowing Timbaland, he's probably going to slice out a piece of that in terms of making something interesting in Web3 for the music side of things. So that's an interesting collaboration. This NFT project is big enough for the big screen. The characters that viewers see and fall in love with on the silver screen will be the same ones they're buying in the NFT collection. Web3 has never had a chance to intersect with mainstream media quite like this. They're doing things, they say they're making one of the first series to launch simultaneously on the home TV, in theaters, maybe, and Web3. Doing it, quote unquote, date and date is launching it all at the same time is interesting, and is something that we're not used to, because here we're talking about Los Muertos, and we're like, oh hey, we buy Los Muertos now, and then they're gonna buy NFT lands, and then they're gonna NFT worlds, and then they're gonna build those out, and we're probably gonna have a fun game in about a year. And so here there's we have all the assets, put them into the metaverse, basic PvP, multiplayer, massive multiplayer games. It's just it's just not doing anything special on the gaming side, but leveraging this great world that they have is a really fantastic play. So I'm really taking a very close look at this, because it's price action wise, sure, it's those are the little moths there. It was free and people were selling it 0.5, good for them. 0.4, and people were trying to understand what the value is here, and it's starting to dip down. It started to dip down to 0.17 today, and about 2 hours ago. And then I saw it really start to peak up strong, because I don't think it deserves to be that low. And I think that becomes very apparent when you look at these these elements. People are indeed still selling though at 893. That's it went down to like 850 or so, but I think a lot more volume is helping to broaden sort of the price range here, where they're really thicking in at 0.25, right? And so it's gotten, so this is the thing, is so they evolve, and so these little moths, they evolve, and so people are actually trading on the price that, oh my gosh, mine has like the electrical eyes, that means it's evolving first, and it's, you know, that gives it an advantage somehow. And so there was some significant speculation, because these are just going to all evolve. And let's take a look at their roadmap. So in the Gossamer MMORPG, holding both a staked moth and a warrior will automatically, this is interesting, allow you to claim land for free. That is a very, very interesting thing. And I clicked on it twice. To access certain play-to-earn features like PvP crypto tournaments, sounds like betting. Non-holders must rent a pass from a holder. It's an interesting play here, guys. Listen closely to this. It's leaning towards various securities talk, but I think let's just take them at face value of what they're planning here. Your Gossamer or Moth will generate passes automatically, enabling passive income. With a relatively small amount of holders, if they keep it at 10,000 in terms of tomorrow, let's see how many of these warriors that they mint out. It'll be interesting, because they expect millions of players. The income potential rises exponentially with the population and the popularity of the game. I mean, millions, dream big, guys. More play-to-earn features to come. Mainstream's exposure for the collection to the series, to a television series currently in post-production for season 1, with the full power of a Hollywood marketing engine. I feel the muscles. Trailers, advertising, press tours, red carpet premieres with Forrest Whitaker and Vera Farmiga. Who doesn't want to go to that? The collection is a high-fidelity art from a Hollywood animation studio. Each unique Gossamer warrior has been dreamt up in Unreal Engine 5, meaning your NFT matches your in-game avatar while serving as a premium PFP. Unreal. It's Unreal Engine 5. It's very, very, very interesting how different they're going to be. Because I mean, if your avatar matches the character in the movie, there's not much choice. There's not 10,000 characters in this movie or in this series. But I think they sound like they're going to base it from there, and they're going to try and differentiate as it grows and bring up rarities. I think so. That's the plan, it seems. So the power of the moss is burning bright with Dream and Nightmare. Soon after war revealed, the entire flock will be made unique for all who opt into the final evolution. Squadron leaders, factions, wars, treasures of the heap, Call of the Long Dark, and the Ascension. So essentially, if you hold on to these, they're just going to evolve, and that's what they want. They want the evolution of rarities, but also the evolution of seemingly the good side and the bad side. Both there's two sides of these to create conflict. Hello, these guys are coming out of Hollywood. They understand the need for conflict. Gossamer World, I linked down there in the description here on this video, so that you can get into the actual OpenSea account, as well as follow Gossamer on Twitter. Not much on the website. I was able to sort of dig from the Google side and sort of see what it was on that website, just kind of explaining that it was a TV series, and working on a very, very interesting level, mind you guys. Zero financial advice here, but I think it's just a really interesting one to watch right now. The idea that you have these characters, and even this little moth thing is rendered quite well. It loaded up really fast, and will evolve apparently and become a good moth or a bad moth. And this is like the one that's not loading well. That's amazing. And so oh no, I hope I'm not losing you guys. This is what OpenSea does. It rugs the hell out of any video I try to do. So like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I do this live, guys, because this stuff is all happening in the moment, and I always appreciate the feedback that you guys give me. Thanks so much for watching, and hit me in the comments section what you think about this project. I mean, it's just coming from a really different perspective than anything we've seen. They feel like that they've leveraged $18 million. I don't know if that's all in the spend here just in the NFT project, but you're also going to get marketing spend from a movie side. So you're going to get a lot of brand awareness, which is something we talked about a lot with Timbaland and with his idea of like, you know, building out your own thing while having the core main brand become, you know, this really well-known brand that everybody knows. And so this is potentially one of those. I don't know, because it's coming from a centralized place. Maybe that's the apprehension here for a lot of people, because in a regular bull market and and like for what the players are involved here, this should be 10x 10 times, zero financial advice here, but this would be 10 times the amount that you're seeing right now, especially, you know, you're looking at just some of the artists that, you know, have been releasing things that have these connections, that have, you know, even a movie deal potential. This is already here, this is already built out, and it's going to deliver day and date. There's nothing that's been done like this, so I'm excited to see what transpires. Join with me, and let's watch together.